everybody, and welcome to my YouTube weekly channel where I share videos with you with tips and tricks about the business of running a digital team or being a freelancer. And this week I'm responding specifically to a comment that was left on my Facebook page, and that says, "Hi Laura, I love your podcast. Thank you. I'm only a newbie and have only discovered you this year. Just wanting to know if you have any advice on what questions to ask clients when you are trying to write for them." Right? I've been given a number of different assignments: write a travel blog, write an email campaign, write a web page, etc. But clients give me little information. Do you use a brief or questionnaire to ascertain who you are writing for and what tone to use in your writing? I'm stuck on how to get this information from clients or what questions to ask them. So specifically, I'm going to be responding directly to Claudette's question right here. It is important to have as much information as possible when you're working with a new client, because there's way too much room for misinterpretation and miscommunication. If you don't get on the same page as the client, you could end up spending a lot of time turning in something that is not a piece that they can use or wasn't what they were expecting, and it's really hard to recover from that situation. It's not impossible, but it's really difficult to recover from a situation like that. So I always like to ask the client for some examples of other pieces they like. This will indicate the type of tone they're looking for. It may come from their competitors. That will give you a general sense of what they do like. I also like to ask the question of what they are not looking for. So is there something that is out there that they deem unprofessional or way too serious or doesn't go into enough detail covering what they want to have covered? So having that sort of example to compare of something they do like and something they don't like can help you avoid common problems. I also like to ask if they have a preference on general tone. When I'm writing for law firms, it's almost always the same, compassionate and serious. But when you're writing for different clients, it's very important to determine what is the actual tone they want, because there's a big difference between someone who kind of considers themselves like a sarcastic kind of life coach or something like that, and somebody who's really trying to put forward a professional, composed image. So ask them about that. There's also a free set of questions that I like to ask, in particular writing clients. You can grab that cheat sheet below the video. It's going to have all the information that you need in order to get started in thinking about what you should ask your clients when you're in this process of trying to figure out what they're looking for. More questions is better at the beginning. It's always better to ask more questions rather than less. Another thing you can do to avoid problems is develop a sample for each of the types of writing that you do. So if you do email campaigns, if you do web copy, have an example of each, show the client your example, and I even recommend putting this in your contract. Have them sign off that they've seen it and acknowledge that the work they will receive will be of similar quality and tone. This helps to avoid that very unhelpful piece of feedback where a client goes, "I just don't like this." Well, why? So one way that I avoid that is by having work samples that they approve, even if it's about something totally different, right? But I want them to accept that they've seen that this is the general quality of the work. It's a general tone, use of keywords, etc. And hopefully that helps you out quite a bit. So Claudette, thank you for the question. If you have questions about the business of writing or things you're struggling with, please feel free to post them on my Facebook page. It's Freelance Freedom with Laura Pennington. And you can also send it to info@sixfigurewriting secrets, and I'll cover it on a future video or a podcast, depending. Have a great week.